I remember my first teacher here in Sweden when I was a refugee. Uh, that she she didn't um, she didn't put much time and effort to asking me details about my future, because for her the most important was to to get me start learning Swedish at first, so I could express my feelings and my thought. Um, I really I don't know why I j- I I remember this, but I have a feeling that it was something good. It was something good that she didn't put some effort and some pressure on me, asking me these things, but I can also connect with other teacher that I had, because I had this teacher just one term, and I really truly loved her, and I many times in my life I thought about to reconnect with her, and I didn't make it because I didn't remember her name or like that. Uh, but my other teacher uh, in the first grade, first class, the next term in the first class, uh, I really don't remember a lot from that grade, because maybe she was average, and maybe she's saw me as looked at me as a average child. I wasn't um, maybe good enough to bring her attention. Uh, but when I got to the second class in a second school with a third teacher, I truly remember this teacher, because she was very, very kind in a bad way for me. She saw that I had difficulties with reading and writing and and fulfilling fall down to make, how do you tell that, to complete my tasks at the class. So when she saw that I had that it was difficult for me, she didn't put any effort to help me through. She just told me, "Okay, Maha, you don't have to continue. It's hard for you, so you don't have to continue." Uh, she she gave me a paper and she told me, you you can draw something instead." So I drawed a lot, and I loved loved the thing that I could skip the tasks and draw. Uh, I come to the conclusion, or I realized then that I loved to draw and I like it, and I wanted to express my feelings with, and to bring the attention from others when I'm drawing or painting, or so I was good at crafts. I was good at something, and I felt good about that. But it wasn't anything that anybody gave some importance to, because I was bad in all other tasks. But it was my only thing to hold on, the drawing thing. I could, when we had some breaks or something in the class, it was a whole the class were around me, because they want to look at what I have done. But it was just those 10 minutes or this 15 minutes that we had the break, and the next the next of the whole day I felt very useless and not accomplishing anything. Um, and it was the same at home, because at home I didn't well, I wasn't good to doing my homeworks, and I had a very hard time to doing my homework. So uh, I always heard from my parents that, oh, you have to go through make this or that, and you have to continue your homework, and what are you doing at school? And they have some many opinions about how I should be. And I ended to go to my room and just being with myself and just doing what I like it to do. I like it uh, to connect with my feelings with crafts, and I had a little to work with. Maybe sometimes it's just what white paper that I started to make something with it. Um, so I realized the importance now about having the importance of having role models in your life that I can relate to. I hadn't role models in my childhood that I could relate to. I had my father. He was a very good role model for me, and he still is. But I don't relate to every part in his life, in his lifestyle. I don't relate to that. So I had some negative stressing feeling that if I want to be something in life, I should be like others, or I should at least be like my father. And I couldn't relate to my father because he have gone here his own journey. I can't really, in my temp. Do you call it temp? I don't. In my tempo, I couldn't. Uh, I couldn't go so far. I didn't feel that I could go so far as he has done. Um, Now I do feel that I had a lack of my father sharing with me his steps. He have just lectured me, telling me the steps, but not sharing with me. He has not showing me how to do things. He have just tell me, if you do this, it will be good for you, and then letting me doing the work. But it was hard for me to do that work when I was to do the same work he does in adult life, for me to do the same work in my childhood life. It was not fair. It was not fair, and it wasn't fair for me to compare myself with him. But I didn't have any other choice, because even the things I compared with in at school or at outside the home, it was too big for me. I needed to find a place that I could relate to, and that was the same level of knowledge, not knowledge, the same level of understanding as me. I had to find some good role model that could go down to my level of talking and feelings, but that had so much knowledge that I could take advantage of. My father, he had very, very good knowledge, but he wasn't good at going down to my level of understanding. He was always up there and telling me that this was good for me, and this may be good for you, and take these books. I couldn't just read that book because I hated books. I hated books because I related to school. I related that book thing to school. In school, I just got books that wasn't interesting enough for me, and I had to complete reading books that wasn't not that wasn't not it wasn't interesting for me, and it I didn't thought that it gave me something back. So I maybe it's my like traumatizing thing that I had always flashbacks when my father wanted me to do things that I just got freezed, and he got angry why his little lovely child that he loved the most, that she couldn't really understand anything. I do want to tell my father today that it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault because I was traumatized and I didn't know that. And no one, no adult one in my life realized that I was traumatized. I was just putting in a box, that dumb box, all the time. That okay, she don't hear what I say, she don't understand what I say. Okay, she's a dumb child. And that wasn't helping me. That wasn't helping me at that time, because in that box I felt like in prison. I couldn't I couldn't I couldn't feel that I could go out. It was, even if I wanted. But it helped me some way, because it made me it developed something in me. It was this, I don't know what you call it in English, this thick skin that I had. I developed a very, very thick skin. So I really um, didn't care if I don't know what how I can express it, but because people around me always told me that, oh, you have a very good self-esteem, but I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that I had good self-esteem. I do believe two kinds of self-esteem. I don't know. In Swedish we have two words for that, but in English I don't know. I just know the word self-esteem. But it's a kind of self-esteem that you could show outside, if that people could see, and it was another of self-esteem that I just shared with myself. And the one I shared with others, it was a very, very strong and helpful, and yes, a very strong attitude outward. But when I got back to my room by myself, I putted myself in that box, and then I started to self-harm myself because I wasn't good enough. I felt that I was faking. I was faking my self-esteem towards other, and for me, I wasn't good enough. How how can I how can I uh, how can I show others that I am what they are seeing? I couldn't because I didn't feel that. I could with others. I could be there for others and help others and stand for others' rights and uh, push them forward. But it was taking all my energy in many years, so I ended up many times very empty because I didn't get anything back. I never looked back to me. I just harmed myself in many ways. Um, I hated myself. I didn't like myself. I didn't like the way I felt. I I always had the feeling that I was trapped. I was trapped, and the only way maybe I had a feeling that I want to just run away, to run away and start a new life. I had that feeling at the age of 9. It's it make me scary sometimes to feel that I oh, my girl is 10 years now. I'm happy that she don't have this kind of feelings because maybe it started to me when I was 8, that I wanted to just run away and start a new life with but I didn't know how. So because I didn't know how, sometimes I got very depressed, feeling very depressed, and just want to find a way to not kill myself, but to bring some attention that I don't feel good, and to harm myself so I could get that attention. And the bad things about this because is that you get attention for a while, and then you get well, and then you go back to the same life, and then you feel bad again and feel depressed, and then you have to do something extraordinary, self-harming again, so you can get through um, with a little bit more attention. So I do admit that I am I was an a girl that always seeked attention. Um, so
So coming back to your day of decisions making, when you decided that must be more to life,
yeah,
what you did next? How you imagine yourself? You realize that you are like this rough diamond and people take you for a pebble, and you realize that if you want a different kind of life. You have to redefine yourself. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to take steps, little steps, baby steps, towards redefining your finest self.
Yes, because I didn't feel any connection with me, with my inner self. I always denied it all these feelings, and tried to 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 erase these feelings in some way, but I couldn't succeed. Um,
So in fact, you realize that unless you connect with yourself first
yeah,
and create a bond, you could
yeah,
never hope that will create another connection with another human being.
yes, yes.
So
I,
how you proceed? What happened?
I remember in 2008 that I I found this connection with myself, that I really want to be there for others and help others to to overcome struggles in their life, to be a helpful woman. I just had that feeling, and I needed to start. So I started to be there for others and make myself very professional in that. But I had all when when I came back home, like I said, I always put myself in a box, and I was married and I had a child, and I had a husband who 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 was uh, harming me in different ways. So I felt ashamed. I felt very ashamed that I am going out there and helping other women to overcome struggles, and I really can't even help myself. So I was afraid that someday I will be at the same I will be uh, in the same situation like these other people, helpless, and I will not find the energy to even help me, and I will not find anyone wanted to be beside me, because in my community and in my network, I was the only one in my by my friends that was the clever if you want if I want the clever, the hard, the strong woman that could go through, could teach or could show them the way. So I felt that, oh my gosh, if I someday get helpless, nobody will even notice that. Nobody will even um, have the energy to stand by me and to help me. So I will be lonely. And that's what happened. I gave all what I had outside home, because I always could breathe outside home. I couldn't breathe inside my home. And when I got back home, when I was empty on energy that day, when I when it took when it was the end for me, nobody really noticed that. I just disappeared, and nobody even noticed that I disappeared. And at home, for my husband, it was good for him. that I was feeling depressed because I couldn't even uh, discuss with him to start to how do you say that, to make him feel bad or like that, or to make him to one thing to develop or something, or just I couldn't have the strength to say no. It was good for him. I didn't realize this in that time. I just thought of him like, why is he not seeing me? Why is he just leaving me like this, dying or dying away, just losing life, losing energy, losing faith, losing my breath, my soul. Um, but but I had a conversation with him before divorce, and he told me, I did see you, and I did knew that you were depressed, but wasn't. I really didn't know what. I just he just gave me the message that it was best for him like that, because if I was able to be my finest me, I will I will give him headache. And it was so stupid. I felt so angry when I heard those words from him, because I didn't I didn't understand how he thinks. How do you think if your wife is the finest, is her finest self? How can that in somehow be bad for you? She will be the finest self for you too. But I do know now that he have his own his own struggles in his personality, and it doesn't define me, and it shouldn't define me either back at that time. But I had to go through these things to realize, so I could don't get affected of that anymore. So no one in no one will ever put me through these things again. And that is, I truly thank him for that. I truly thank my ex-husband to let me go through this journey, because if I didn't, I will not realize my own strength, and I will not realize my I will not have the I will not be the one that is going toward my dreams, because he wasn't the right person for me. I did felt that from the beginning, but I hadn't the courage to admit that for me. And he didn't understand from the beginning why this beautiful, clever woman said yes to him. And I truly I truly respect this thought of him because it is so right. We are not meant to be together. And I did push myself through this, and I realize today why I had to go through this. Because if I had a truly choice, I will never, if I had everything in front of me that faced everything on him for me, that this man will do this or that with you in the 10 years in your future, I will not choose him because I am clever to not do that. But I maybe will never had the chance to develop these things in me that brought me here today. So
So what happened, from what you are saying, the most crucial moment is when you realized that you don't need somebody else's permission, regardless that person could be your husband, your parents, or friends, or you really don't need anyone's permission to be yourself.
when I did realize that,
Yes, to me, it seems like this is when everything started, when you realized that you don't need anyone's permission to be yourself. You just need to be. It's not about doing things for other people. It's not about being accepted. It's not about asking for validation. It's all about deciding that you can simply be. And for that, you don't need anyone's permission.
yes, uh, I think I realized that after divorce. Maybe I realized that before divorce in somehow some specific, but I don't remember because I was so into just overcoming and just living through my struggles. But I didn't have the time to just sit down and to talk with myself and to. But after divorce, I had all the time. I just decided that I will not. The first decision was that I will not ever let this happen to me again. It was my first decision, and I didn't know how I will stop this for happening again because I find myself just maybe go to another relationship that I just realize that if I continue, it will bring, because I was seeking attention. I was still seeking attention. And so when I was with myself, I needed to ask myself why am I seeking attention?
But
Can
you realize that the attention you're seeking was simply because you're chasing something outside yourself.
yes, yes,
We are conditioned to believe that what we want is outside ourselves. So always your goal could be something very earthy, very materialistic, like a better house, a better car, a bigger, a more expensive house, or a better position in society. That will bring you a better status within your community.
yes,
And you are only doing what you are taught to do
yes,
as a human being. But then when you reach hard bottom, you simply realize that there's nothing outside that could make you happy. Happiness is an inside job.
yes,
Happiness is inside you. And unless you start looking inside, looking into the mirror, looking at yourself and acknowledging what you have already, because you have it all already, and
yes,
working on what you had, working on all these abilities you have already. People are talking about performances, and they're talking about possibilities and what is possible for them, but actually they don't look, they don't focus on their own abilities, existing abilities. And this is where the energy goes nowhere. This is where you are losing years of your life simply by chasing something outside, in the outside world,
Yes,
without being even aware. Is the ignorance of not knowing your own abilities, of not knowing who you truly are and what you could bring into other people's life.
yes,
And from what you are saying, I understand really, really well the struggles, the trauma you had to go through to eventually reach a point in your own world, in your own mind, all by yourself, or where you realize that actually you don't need anyone to make you happy. You
yes,
can't even be happy when you are expecting from other people to do that for you. It's not somebody else's job. It
yes,
is your responsibility
yes,
to flourish, to blossom, to become the person you are already, and share that with the world. I remember when you first started and you're very doubtful about what other people would say about you,
yes,
but you weren't doubtful about your own abilities, and I love that. The fact that you become aware through struggle, through tremendous pain,
yes,
but you've been working on yourself, and
yes,
you brought yourself into to a level from where you can see yourself.
yes,
Because unless you dig down, you look inside and you see who you are, that you are there, you are not missing your life. Your life cannot exist without you. So how and why would you consider that life is about other people? It's nothing to do with other people. Your life is what you make of it. This is all we have time for now. And from both of us, until next time, is goodbye.
thank you.